What's going on, my Century Unit? It's the Centuryman here, so back again with another WCW pay-per-view review. Actually, this is the last WCW pay-per-view I review on this channel. I'll get to it at the end of this video. So, this time I'm going to review another Starcade show, this time traveling 14 years into the future, to the year of 1998, yep, to review Starcade 1998. So, this show was at the MCI Center. Right now it's called the Capital One Arena in the American capital of Washington, D.C. on the 27th of December, 1998. The attendance of the show was 16,066. Starcade 98 drew about 460,000 pay-per-view buys. A massive, not massive, but it's a massive drop-off from the previous year's Starcade from 1997. And that show drew about 700,000 pay-per-view buys. Because at the time it was the most bought WCW pay-per-view of all time. That's Starcade 97. Main event of that show was Hogan versus Sting. You know, that the messed up, like, botch, free count attempt by Nick Patrick. You know, I reviewed that show 2 years ago. Go and check it out. So the commentators for Starcade 1998, we got Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Brain Heenan, and Mike Tenay. So 1998 is considered WCW's last good year before the company started to go down south the previous year in the second half of 1999, you know, because you know, it went downhill after Spring Stampede 99, but yeah, you could say it's the last good full year for the company before, yeah, it went downhill. So by the way, no Hogan on this show because he's kayfabe retired. He's focused on another career on politics, trying to become the president of the United States of America. And that's a double low. I'll get to the brief talk about the finger poke of doom in the end of this video, but wow. And by the way, Scott Steiner is the new leader of the NWO Black and White. So yeah, and by the way, there's lack of star power on this show. And yeah, this show kind of suffered, you know. I'll get to my final thoughts of the show in the end. So the first match to kick off Starcade 1998. This is a triple threat match, or a three-way match, for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship. Billy Kidman defending the belt against Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrera. Rey Mysterio Jr. and Juventud Guerrera are, you know, they were part of the LWO. That's Latino World Order for short. Yeah, I don't understand why they formed this group, man. I think they formed this group in the autumn of 1998. I think they're trying to capitalize. I think WCW are trying to capitalize what the WWF was doing the previous year with the faction warfare stuff. With WCW, they did a lot of factions in 1998. You got the NWO Hollywood, the Black and White, the NWO Wolfpack. You had the Flock, who's now recently disbanded. They brought up the Four Horsemen, and now we got the LWO. LWO, folks. I get it's a spin of the NWO. It's basically for the cruiserweights and the luchadors, you know. Rey's in this struggle, you could say in this power struggle with the leader of the group, Eddie Guerrero. He's refused to join the LWO. It's knowing that, you know, decades later he ended up officially become the leader of the LWO more that later. So yeah, and before the start of this match, you know, he's not really wearing it, but he's not wearing the LWO t-shirt. He kind of like placed it on his tights, and he ended up like grab it and stomped it. And it's funny to me, the LWO logo, you know, it's got the colors of the Mexican flag, the green, white, and red. Sometimes it kind of reminds me of the Italian flag instead of the Mexican flag. You know, yeah, both the Mexican and the Italian flag are similar. You know, with the green, white, and red colors. You know, even though Mexico has the eagle symbol on the center of the flag. Anyway, because they're from Mexico, I don't know whether they're stereotyping. Not every like luchador in WCW are from Mexico. You got fucking I think Conan's from Cuba. I don't want to get into that. So anyway, this is technically match of the night in the opener. Very rare to see like one opener guaranteed that be match of the night, and it is match of the night. I really enjoyed the three-way match. I'm not going to go in details of the match itself. I'm not really, I'm not like analyzing, discuss about it move by move. But go and check it. Go and check it yourself, man. It's really good. Really, it was good. You know, it started out like both Ray and Kidman are the baby faces. Juvi is the heel. He's like, you know, aligned himself with Eddie Guerrero. But you know, because Ray's refused, he's not officially, he's refusing to join the group to fight the system. But anyway, and then afterwards, yeah, the typical triple threat, three-way stuff. You know, two baby faces or two heels like ganging up on the faces, or the two heels ganging up on the baby face. No, two faces ganging up the heels, or two heels ganging up on the baby face. And then also they had that like they kind of like arguing, and this is, and also it transformed into the every man for himself. It kind of happened in this match, you know. But it was really good. A lot of good high flying spots, you know. Like everyone does their high flying moves. Like Juvi did the crossbody, the springboard crossbody. Ray with the Iside moonsault. Was it Iside moonsault? I can't remember. Can't really pronounce it properly. And Kidman with the shooting star press. I think Ray did like a hurricanrana, Juvi off the ring apron. A lot of like boom 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 moves in this match. I think one more of the match, you know, like I think it was Ray kind of throw. I think like Juvi throw Ray into Kidman, or Kidman throw Ray into Juvi. It's vice versa. That was like a near fall. When when Kidman did the shooting star press off the top rope onto outside the ring onto Ray and Juvi, Eddie came along. The fans booing Eddie out of the building, chanting Eddie sucks, you know. Anyway, so in the end, you know, like Eddie, you know, kind of like I think he grabbed Kidman on the hair, and the assistant Juvi, looks like Juvi kind of countered the, I think it was a sun flip roll-up attempt by Kidman, but Eddie's assistant kind of looked like, you know, Juvi countered it, and then Ray, I think he kicked Juvi in the face, like Kidman, reversed that, like pin, and Kidman won this match and retained the Cruiserweight title. Eddie celebrated like, you know, one of his boys won the Cruiserweight title, but instead Kidman retained the belt. You know, Eddie's very underrated, man. You know, I'm talking about as a heel. You know, he's, you know, as a heel character, he's very underrated. You know, whether it's he's like in his heel run in WCW, then his heel run in the WWF in his first run. You know, part of the Radicals, the stuff with China. Even though in his 2005 run, you know, I think in his 2005 run he was a bit serious and synthetic. You know, this is revolved around Ray and Dominic. You know he, you know, even though because you know his previous heel runs, he's more of a comedy heel, not comedy heel, but kind of like the sleazy lying, cheating, stealing gimmick. You know, in that 2005 run, he was more and more serious. But anyway, so Eddie grabs on the mic. Chew up both Ray and Juvi, calling like Kidman like a cream puff, a pretty boy, combs his hair. He kind of he basically chew up towards Ray. You know, all you do, you fight against me. You know, he said to both Ray and Juvi, you used to be the best in the world. And then Eddie he say if you want to do things right, gotta do it by yourself. Calls out Kidman, challenges him to a match for the Cruiserweight title, and then Kidman comes out, accepts. Eddie kind of trying to back off, trying to like pull himself out of this match because he's not ready prepared. So anyway, he's wrestling with not wearing his ring gear but wearing his street clothes, you know, the LWO t-shirt and jeans, and we got the Improv 2 match. So Kidman's doing double 2 on this show. So anyway, so move on to another match for the Cruiserweight title. This is a 1-on-1 match. Kidman defending the belt against the leader of the LWO, Eddie Guerrero. This was good, man. Not on the same level as the opener, but this is really good. A bit slowed down a little bit. I think with the opener, it's more fast-paced stuff. This was a bit slowed down because Eddie is not he's not known for his high-flying moves. He does like a little bit of lucha libre stuff, but he's more of a tactical wrestler. You know, And also, I think back today in the first match, the first cruiserweight match, said like Kidman suffered like he's entered this match with a groin injury and a shoulder injury. So yeah, in the second match against Eddie, Eddie was working on the leg of Billy Kidman. He locked in some kind of, I don't know if it's the lasso from El Paso, course name of the submission hold. It looks like Bret Hart's sharpshooter, and this time grabbing Kidman's arm. It's more like a joint move. That's a cool move, but anyway, it's funny. Like you had Hoovy trying to help Eddie winning this match. One more in the match. Eddie locking the Donovan stretch onto Kidman. Hoovy grabbing Eddie's arm without the referee noticing. Ray stopped that. And then minutes later, I think like there was one. I think Eddie was locking it was a bridge. Was it a bridge pin? A bridge pin, while grabbing one of Kidman's leg, and then Ray grabbed the It's funny, Ray grabbed Eddie's boot. I'll get to more of the boot a bit shortly, and kind of smacked both Eddie and Hoovy with it. That's kind of funny because at the time he's the babyface of this group. Hoovy and Eddie are heels. Anyway, and speaking of the boot, Eddie hit Kidman with the boot without the referee noticing, and that was a near fall. So it was a really good match. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. Like I don't go like move by move. Otherwise, it's just gonna take me about like an hour 20, hour 50, something like that. I try to keep it like 30, 40 minutes, something like that. But anyway, so in the end, there was one guy, I think he was wearing the LWO t-shirt. By the way, the guy was Art Flores, aka Spider. He's basically Eddie Guerrero's bodyguard. Very weird he need a bodyguard, even though you got other members of the LWO. No members of the LWO not really appeared. It's just basically just this random guy. People just see him as this random guy, Art Flores. Trying to distract the referee. I feel like one more of the match before Art Flores showed up. I'm gonna refer him as Art Flores Spider. But anyway, Hoovy kind of crotched Kidman. I think he was going for like the shooting star press, but instead, he kind of crotched Kidman's balls onto the top turnbuckle. But anyway, Ray kind of pulled off Eddie. I think he assisted Kidman at the same time, knocking Hoovy off the ring apron. In the end, Kidman hit the shooting star press in the ring onto Eddie Guerrero to win this match, and once again retained the Cruiserweight Championship. So, yeah, this was a really good match as well. I prefer the first match over the second match, but that's my taste. But this was good. Kidman, wow. I'm gonna calculate this the first two matches of the show revolve around the cruiserweights. The freeway match for the cruiserweight title was nearly 15 minutes, and this match between Kidman and Eddie was about 10 minutes. So that's 15 minutes. Add 10. That's 25 minutes. What? Holy shit, man! They really dedicate more time to cruiserweights. Because I understand the cruiserweight division is still hot in WCW. I think the prime time cruiserweight prime time years for the cruiserweights was 96, 97, and 1998. The cruiserweight division kind of declined in the second half of 1999. So, and by the way, this is the end of the LWO, as we know, because on the 1st of January, New Year's Day, 99, Eddie suffered an injury in a car accident, and the LWO is officially no more. It got me thinking, if Eddie didn't have the car accident, why is the blow off? I'm guessing this is leaning towards Ray and Eddie in a match. Probably, if Ray wins, probably the LWO will be disbanded. I don't know, man. So I don't know why it's the payoff if Eddie didn't got hurt. So, and we won't see the LWO again until 2023. And this time, Ray leading the group. They changed the LWO badge. I think it was this time in the colors of Puerto Rico instead of Mexico. I don't want to get into that, folks. So anyway, I like the two matches on the show. After that, the show went downhill, completely downhill. So the next match, we got Norman Smiley, depending on how you pronounce it, taking on Prince Laikia, aka The Artist. It'll be The Artist in the year 2000. And this is a rematch on Nitro, like Norman won. This match, I thought this was going to be a good match. I almost give it 3 stars, but I watched it twice. Yep. This, I don't call it a bad match, but, yeah, this is not a, it's not really a bad match. It was just a match. It was a bit boring, to be honest. It was like a lot of wrestles. Yeah, yeah, I feel like it's good to see Norman locking the Kimura lock onto Prince Laikia, but there was a lot of wrestles, man. It really killing the crowd dead. The crowd chanted boring. They were chanting boring, to be honest. I think they were so blown up after the first 2 matches on the show for the Cruiserweight title, the Freeway and Kidman vs Eddie. I think they can't really react to much. I think they suffered. And this is just a lot of wrestles, for Norman. Norman was doing the big wiggle. That really, he started doing the big wiggle, trying to get him over. This is before he ended up wearing like hockey attires and American football attires. It's just like before that he was just wearing black trunks, and to be honest, he was in good shape. He's not like a skinny dude. He looks like he's in good shape. He's got abs, and he's a bit shredded, to be honest. But anyway, so he was doing the big wiggle. Anyway, yeah, the fans did not give a fuck. I'm not saying it's a bad match, but it's just okay, but not great. In the end, Norman locking the Norman Conquest is basically the chicken wing submission for the win, and that was it. And by the way, Norman will face Chavo Guerrero at Sold Out the following month. Very, very underrated, Norman Smiley. He's one of the most forgettable wrestlers in the Monday Night War era. You don't see the name of Norman Smiley. He's just like, he disappeared. After he's running WCW, he just disappeared. Yeah, they'd running out in smaller companies, but he's just like, just, I don't know, being overlooked. Something like that. I don't want to get into that, but yeah, this is the problem of no star power, or lack of star power. You got like Hogan is, no Savage, suffered an injury, no Luger, no Scott Steiner, no Benoit, Malenko or the Horseman. Hogan's doing his whole kayfabe political career, fake retirement, or not fake retirement, but kayfabe retirement, something like that. It's just like, yeah. And you got some matches on the show. It's a pattern on this show. He has some matches that don't belong on this show. It's the biggest show of the year. It's their version of WrestleMania. So let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got Perry Saturn taking on Ernest the Cat Miller, with Sonny Ono in his corner. This is a rematch from World War III, when Ernest Miller beat Perry Saturn in a tag team match at the previous month's pay-per-view. So this is the rematch on the show. Anyway, so for Ernest Miller, his shtick, his gimmick before he became become the commissioner of WCW, that was in the year 2000, by the way. His previous gimmick, he was he's a 3-time karate world champion. He's doing this shtick like he's gone till the count of 5 to make sure his opponents leave the ring before he's going to kick their asses, something like that. Anyway, he's doing his shtick. He did his shtick. And then Saturn takes no shit, attacks Ernest Miller, and the match begins. This match sucks, to be honest. I was bored, completely bored. There's no chemistry between Saturn and Ernest Miller. It was just punches and kicks. He's supposed to be a karate champ. He's supposed to be. He probably does some kicks, but I don't know if that's just his character, or is Ernest Miller actually a karate champion in real life? I feel like there's no chemistry between Saturn and Ernest Miller. I'm trying to keep it short and simple. In the end, you had Sonny Ono came to the ring, trying to kick Perry Saturn, but instead he accidentally kicked Ernest Miller, and then Ernest Miller kicked Sonny Ono out of the ring. Wow, he looks short. I don't know how short Sonny Ono is. The guy looks. I don't know how tall he is. To me personally, he's just a typical, stereotypical Japanese. No disrespect for my Japs, Central Europe members, but he looks a bit stereotypical, you know. I don't think they'll do it in today's wrestling landscape because we're in this woke era, but anyway, so in the end, Perry Saturn hit Ernest Miller with the Death Valley Driver for the win, and that was it. It's very sad. You know, the last 1998 WCW pay-per-view I review on this channel was Farbro 98. He had a really good banger against Raven, and fast forward 3 months later, he's facing fucking Ernest the Cat Miller on on the biggest pay-per-view of the year. You're spending a lot of money. Like I said, no star power, no Hogan, no Benoit, Malenko, Brett, who's appeared on the show, not wrestling. He's the United States champion. The WCW tag team champions not on the line. I'll get to more of that shortly. No Booker T, no Savage, still recovering from knee injury. Won't see him again until Spring Stampede '99. Yeah, there was a lack of star power, and this is the reason why the show suffered. And moving on to this one segment with Scott Hall, I'm going to tie it into the main event. And let's move on to the next match. So the next match, this is the only tag team match on this show. And this had no business to be on the biggest show of the year. We got Bryan Adams and Scott Norton with Vincent represent the NWO Black and White, taking on Fit Finlay and Jerry Flynn. Wow. And yeah, the WCW Tag Team Championships are not on the show. They're not defended on the show. By the way, the Tag Team Champions on the show at the time... Oh, not on the show. The WCW Tag Team Champions at the time was Rick Steiner and Judy Bagwell, the mother of Buff Bagwell. And also Buff Bagwell's not on the show. So, wow. It's just like... Some of these matches belong on Nitro or Thunder or Saturday Night Main... What is it called? Saturday Night Main Event? Or just Saturday Night, or because that time Saturday Night was the C show, Nitro is the A show, Thunder is the B show. So anyway, yeah, Bryan Adams, Scott Norton taking on Fit Finlay and Jerry Flynn. Finlay and Jerry Flynn, but they're kind of referencing the Orient, aka Japan, so they kind of wrestle in Japan. They're kind of like those four guys in this match on the show. They're just fucking jobbers, enhancement talent. It's just what it is. I'm trying to get short and simple, guys. And by the way, Bryan Adams is the former Crush in the WWF. So, yeah, it's just like I was bored. I did not give a fuck about it. It was boring. Like, you're putting this on your biggest show in the year. You spend a lot of money. Should be on Saturday night main event or just Saturday night. Why is that Starcade? But anyway, try to keep it short and simple. In the end, Bryan Adams and Scott Norton won this match. Norton hit the powerbomb. I think it was on Jerry Flynn for the win. Yeah, holy fuck, man. This show suffered. Moving on to the next match. So the next match, you could say third of four championship matches on the show, because two of them were for the Cruiserweight title. The third one is for the television championship. Conan defending the belt against Chris Jericho. I don't think there's any build to this. I feel like some matches on the show, there was no build. Like Jerry Flynn and Fit Finlay taking on Scott Norton. Scott Norton and Bryan Adams. No build. It's like a bit laughable. I don't want to get into that. So anyway, no build to this. Jericho stole the physical TV title belt from Conan. He was doing this whole attacking the fake Conan. Because at the time it was Jericho's shtick. At the time he was getting over, the master of the loopholes, that really got him over, People don't like Chris Jericho today, with his current gimmick in AEW, the whole learning tree gimmick with Big Bill and fucking Brian Keith, but at the time, he was really red hot, He attacked the fake Conan. It's similar to what Jericho did to the fake Goldberg, it's part of his gimmick, This match was good, man. I wish I had more time in the in the previous match, in the previous match, that match was about 8 minutes, almost 9 minutes long. I wish they got this. I wish they just give half those minutes to the Jericho Conan match. It was good, but I wish it would be a lot better. I think it was due to time. even though it got like 7 minutes, but they made the most for 7 minutes. It was a good back and forth match. Like Jericho did his lion moonsault, his springboard like move off the top rope, but this time crashed into the steel steps. Yeah, it was a good back and forth between Jericho and Conan. In the end, Conan hit the K Factor and the Tequila Sunrise. By the way, Conan's part of the NWO Wolfpack, the Red and Black, for the win. Yeah, it was a good match. It was a decent good match. Nothing special. Conan regained the physical belt, when Jericho stole it, And yeah, and before that, Conan's doing his typical shtick, that got him over. You can tell he's getting over Conan. Like, even though FIFA La Raza, I think it's before the whole, he ended up doing the music video shtick. Was it Bow Wow Wow? That ended up becoming a rivalry between him and Disco Inferno. Anyway, so yeah, it was a good match. Nothing special, but I take this over the previous three matches on the show. The tag team match, Perry Saturn versus Ernest Miller, and Norman Smiley versus Prince Laikea. And moving on to the next match. So the next match we got, this is a storyline and a real life rivalry between Eric Bischoff taking on Ric Flair. This is Ric Flair's first Starcade match in 3 years. He missed the 1996 and 1997 edition of Starcade due to injury. So this is starting early in the year. Like Flair no-show WCW. Basically, WCW and Eric Bischoff suing Ric Flair, or Flair sued Bischoff and WCW because Ric Flair no-shown a tape episode of Thunder to attend one of his son Reed's wrestling meets. So Bischoff just pulled him off TV, and then Flair came back in September. Reformed the Horsemen. Flair was like, fire me, I'm already fired, towards Eric Bischoff. This is set up this match. And also the build to this, you had the NWO attacking Ric Flair's kids. It introduced David Flett into WCW programming. You had like the NWO beating down not just Reed, because Reed was a kid, rest in peace Reed, but he attacks David. I think one of them grabbed Reed, making Reed watching the NWO beating down David. And also Bischoff was kissing Ric Flair's wife to get more heat. And also there was a video package leading up to this, describing Eric Bischoff as a character. He's a liar, crazy, abusive, bringing up his run, how he became the most sleazy, manipulative sociopath. Recently, there's a video package of him attacking J.J. Dillon, getting suspended, and also building up to this match between Eric Bischoff and Ric Flair. So, and also the build up to this, you had Ric Flair doing this. He basically he did his promo like he's got a black heart, and then suddenly Ric Flair had a heart attack. The heart attack's not real, folks. That's just a Reigns ploy. WWF did like a year prior. Of a Reigns ploy of their own. When they interviewed Brian Pillman's late widow Melanie. And it's funny in hindsight, Ric Flair had a heart attack years later, and he ended up having a defibrillator, a pacemaker, defibrillator in his heart, And I think it's the first time of a wrestling company doing a storyline revolve around someone having a heart attack. WWE will do it a decade and a half later with Jerry Lawler and CM Punk. That's another story for another time. But this is a Reigns ploy, and it's a good video package of Eric Bischoff. Clips of how he became this evil authority figure. That's good. Anyway, there's one promo. I'm gonna talk about it. It's revolved around Bischoff. Bischoff came along. This time he cut his hair. It's close off having the grey hair. He had a goatee. Very unusual look. I prefer Bischoff with the long black hair. But anyway, so he came out feeling like he's saying like Ric Flair's gonna risk his own life, risking his family's future. And he brings up some actually factual information about Ric Flair. He kind of paid his own limousine and his jets on his own money, and he compared that he kind of using He kind of had the company pay for his jet and his limousine, and at the same time saving his own money. And it's kind of true, Flair. At the time, he had spent his lot of money on his limousines and jets. It's funny in hindsight, like Flair kind of sorted out his financial problems. He kind of sorted it out because he ended up working with Vince once again, and he's financial caked. He's financial secured. Back at the time, he's not really financial secured. He's comparing financial problems between. He's talking about comparing financial things. Like Flair don't sort out his financial security. Bischoff managed to secure his financial security of saving his money. So yeah, it's kind of what it is, man. I'm not gonna point it in the good, okay, bad. It's just what it is. And that's about this match: Bischoff versus Flair. And also, by the way, fun fact: Ric Flair really hate Eric Bischoff in real life. It's funny that knowing that in hindsight, they end up working together once again in WWE and TNA. So it's funny. Anyway, so the match itself, this should be a squash match anyway. I thought this is going towards a squash match, and it lasts about 7 minutes, But anyway, so you had Flair beating down Bischoff for a few minutes. Then Bischoff got a little bit of the offense, with the kicks, because he's got some kind of black belt background. Flair Flair, bleeding. I think it was Bischoff hit Flair's head in the metal rails, the barricade, whatever it's called. But anyway, so there was a referee. You could say Flair shoved the referee. I think the referee was Charles Robinson, the future Little H. So in the end, out comes Kurt Hennig, aka Mr. Perfect, giving Bischoff the brass knuckles. They're basically brass knuckles. It's taped. Bischoff bashed Flair with the brass knuckles, pin him, and Flair won. Not Flair. Bischoff won this, beat Flair. Wrong decision. I don't mind it. It's a squash match. That's fine. But Bischoff winning, they got more heat. You had Bischoff, attacking Flair's family, and then the stuff with the heart attack. That's not necessary. But seeing Bischoff beating Flair, I know he relies on his help. And by the way, the Horsemen are banned from ringside, are banned to help Flair. So it's basically stacking the odds against Flair. But seeing Bischoff beating Flair, that was I think the wrong person gone over. And if I compare this to Eric Bischoff versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, because another wrestler Bischoff had a real rivalry in the past, but it's night and day, because the night portion is just basically Bischoff beating Flair, but on the day side you had Austin beat Bischoff. I'm talking about their match at No Way Out 2003. At least it was a squash match. People want to see Austin beating Bischoff. In this match at Starcade '98, people want to see Flair beating Bischoff. We got that, but instead you had a referee bump, a lot of whistleblowing, to be honest, and I think it's similar to the Bischoff Larry Zbyszko match, but instead that was more leaning. This is more a continuation of the rivalry between Larry Zbyszko and Scott Hall. But anyway, so yeah, Hennig came out, giving Bischoff the brass knuckles, and hits Flair with him. You thought this is going to lead up to a renewed rivalry between Kurt Hennig and Ric Flair. Unfortunately, that's not the case, man. And by the way, they set up the next night. They set up a rematch the next night on Nitro. And this time, the WCW president is on the line. Flair beat Bischoff for that. Flair's the new president of WCW. And this is leading up to Flair becoming drunk with power, sent to the loony bin. And it got me thinking, I'm doing a little bit of a booking, fantasy booking. Why could they just done this on this show? And that this match, Flair versus Bischoff, for Bischoff's presidency for WCW, and Flair put his career on the line. If Flair lose, Flair must retire. I wish they did that, but instead it's just a normal match. Wrong person gone over, and it's a bit of a waste. It's a giant waste of time, and you're just doing the rematch on Nitro for free. Once again, Reigns ploy, because at the time, the WWF was breathing down their necks, with the whole McMahon Austin rivalry. The Rock is just the World Wrestling Federation champion, so yeah, it's kind of like desperate times causing desperate measures, man. So anyway, let's move on to the next match. So the next match, we got Diamond Dallas Page taking on the Giant. This isn't revolve around not just the Giant and DDP. It's also revolve around Bret Hart. You know, by the way, on the 30th of November's episode of Nitro, Bret defeated DDP for the United States title by the help by the Giant. And then, you know, Bret was teasing they're going to do a rematch. You know, DDP answered it, but he got ambushed by the Giant when the Giant chokeslammed DDP off the Nitro stage. This match was good, but I wish they did a freeway match instead. I'll get more on that shortly. So besides that, this is a Giant versus Giant. Even though DDP's he's tall, he's not a small guy. He's 6'3", 6'4". Giant's about 7'5". But they make it into like Giant versus Jack, Jack versus the Giant, you know, Jack versus the Giant Slayer, something like that. But anyway, it was really good. It got a little bit slow with the Giant, you know, the future Big Show, by the way, you know, working on DDP's legs, you know, going for the going for the bear hug. But besides that, it was really good, you know. Out comes Bret. I think it was a referee bump. Bret come along, try to hit DDP with the chair, but instead accidentally hit the Giant. DDP hit the low blow onto Bret Hart. In my opinion, I wish they'd done a triple threat match, you know, because, by the way, Bret was injured. And by the way, he ended up dropping the belt to Roddy Piper, I think it was in January, so I wish they, you know, wrestled on this show. Like I said, once again, lack of star power. I don't want to beat the horse to death, I'm trying to say. But anyway, so there's one good spot, you know, I kind of like. I think like Giant was teasing, you know, hit the DDP with the choke slam, but in the end was good, you know. So Giant was going for the choke slam, but instead DDP counted into probably a diamond cutter out of nowhere for the win. That was cool. That was good. You know, he was going for the choke slam, and DDP just counted it. That was really cool. You know, it's really the one dream match we're never going to see is DDP versus Randy Orton. You know, the Diamond Cutter versus the RKO. That would be really cool. But it was a really good match. You know, not a 4-star clash, but kind of like a 3-star match. But it'd be much better if they just did a freeway for the United States title. You know, Bret, DDP, and Giant. But that's just me. But sadly, this is the Giant's final WCW pay-per-view match, because he left the company in February. He ended up going to the WWF, you know, on that same month. Debuted at the St. Valentine's Day Massacre pay-per-view during the main event in the steel cage match between Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Vince McMahon. He wrestled under his real name, Paul White. That's his real name, Paul White. And the rest is history. He became the Big Show. But yeah, I think the writing was on the wall for the Big Show, the Giant in WCW. Is he going to fit in Is he going to be in WCW in 1999 and 2000, or in the Vince Russo era? Probably not. I think he's more. I don't know, man. It's just what it is. I don't want to get into that. So yeah, it was a good match. Anyway, so let's move on to the main event. So the main event. And they announced this match earlier in the show, and this is a no DQ match for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Goldberg, the undefeated Goldberg, 173-0. Is it? Yeah, going for his 174th win, defending the belt against Kevin Nash. By the way, Kevin Nash won the 60-man Battle Royal at the final World War III pay-per-view in the company's history to get a shot at the WCW World Champion Goldberg on this show. Because Kevin Nash, you know, he's the leader of the Wolfpack, you know. I think he just came off ending his feud with Scott Hall. You know, they did the whole Last Call Scott Hall storyline. That's actually tasteless. I reviewed Halloween Havoc 98 last year. Go and check it out. So, and speaking of Scott Hall, he attended this show. Like I said, no star power. That's the buzzword on this video. He came out, did the whole typical shtick like, "Hey yo, too sweet." You know, he brings up Kevin Nash, and you know, Kevin Nash and himself, they traveled together and talk about which one's going to be the main man in wrestling. He said he said 99 is going to be his year. Wasted a segment. I wish they'd just done it on Nitro or Thunder. You're doing this on a pay-per-view at the time you spend a lot of money, so yeah. So, and you thought that's the last time we see Scott Hall on the show. Like, wait and find out. But anyway, the match between Goldberg and Kevin Nash sucked. 11 minutes. 11 minutes this match. Goldberg is not known for longer matches. He's known for squash matches, you know. At least with DDP at Halloween Havoc, got the best out of Goldberg. But with Kevin Nash, he's nowhere near as a ring general. You know, because Nash is not known for his wrestling moves. You know, like doing the what does he do? The six moves of doom. I forget what he does. I think he does the choke slam. He does the big boot. He does the jackhammer powerbomb. Or the jackknife powerbomb. No, the jackhammer is Goldberg's finisher, but you get my drift. He just does like 3-4 moves of doom. And Goldberg's the 2 moves of doom. The jackknife, the jackhammer, and the spear. That's it. No chemistry. Referee bump. You got 2 members, or really you got 1 member of the Wolfpack. That is Disco Inferno. Why Disco is part of the Wolfpack? It's funny he ended up feuding with fucking Conan the following year. It's Spring Stampede, but because at the time, I think they ended the rivalry ended this partnership with the Dancing Fools. He was teaming up with Alex Wright, the Das Thunder Kid, but at the time he was not really doing anything. So anyway, he's now part of the Wolfpack. He's part of the NWO, folks. Anyway, and out comes Bam Bam Bigelow. I think he got clothesline out of the ring, and then you got security guards, you know, escorting Bam Bam Bigelow out of the ring. Here comes the coup de grace. So I think this was after when Goldberg speared Kevin Nash. He was going for the jackhammer. Yep, Scott Hall dressed up like a security guard, stunned Goldberg with the stun gun, and Kevin Nash hits Goldberg with the jackknife powerbomb, pins him. Goldberg's streak came to an end. He's now 173-1, and Kevin Nash is the new WCW World Champion. To be fair, you know, the fans got a reaction when Nash beat Goldberg, because no one, since Goldberg's debut, no one beat Goldberg in a match, whether it's on Nitro, Thunder, pay-per-views. They never beat Goldberg. So Nash being the one was good. You know, people go back to my review of WrestleMania 30. I reviewed early in the year. You know, people say, what if when Brock beat the Undertaker for that streak? You know, what if have a young person beat the Undertaker? I said that would be, you know, it will never pan out. Let me see if they had a young person beat Goldberg on this show, or any match, or any capacity. It might not work, because, you know, what if that young person never beats him and never panned out in the aftermath? So, yeah, it'd be fine. And forgot to mention this is Kevin Nash's first match as a booker. I think he's the real life booker of WCW. You know, he kind of booked himself in the world title picture. And by the way, this is Kevin Nash's first world title for 3 years, since he was Diesel in the WWF when he was the World Wrestling Federation champion. But I think at this moment in time, I think it was a bit tasteless. Not tasteless, but kind of like a bit tainted. A tainted victory, because I think the people just don't see Kevin Nash as a world champion. I don't know. I think just to see Kevin Nash as just the tag team guy. I don't know. I don't think he's world champion material. I think this match really Goldberg took a massive hit after this. He never gained his momentum ever again, you know. So let's talk about briefly that Nitro on the 4th of January 1999. So yeah, you know, 2 red herrings of that Nitro. You had one, Schiavone giving out that episode Raw's result, and also the second red herring is, it was supposed to be a rematch from Starcade. By the way, Goldberg will face Scott Hall at Sold Out in the Stone Cold Ladder match. You know, I reviewed Sold Out 99 years ago on this channel. Go and check it out. But anyway, so on that Nitro on the 4th of January 99, it was supposed to be the rematch from Starcade. You know, Goldberg versus Kevin Nash for the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Unfortunately, Goldberg got arrested because he falsely accused of stalking Miss Elizabeth. So out comes Hulk Hogan. You come out of retirement. That match, you had Hogan. Hogan poke Kevin Nash in the chest. Nash go down. Hogan pins Kevin Nash. 1, 2, 3. Goldberg won the WCW. Goldberg. Hogan won. Hulk Hogan won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship. Almost called him Goldberg, but I got Goldberg in the brain. There's a poster of Goldberg on the screen right now. But anyway, so Hogan won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship with the finger poke of doom. Out comes Goldberg. He's now released from jail. Unfortunately, he got beaten down by not just by the NWO Black and White. He got beaten down by the NWO Wolfpack. Suddenly, they're no longer feuding because the whole bulk of 1998, he had this massive faction rivalry, the NWO Civil War between the NWO Black and White and the NWO Red and Black. That's the Wolfpack. So, all of a sudden now they are a super faction. TNA do it years later with Immortal and Fortune forming together as a super group, you know. But anyway, so they beat down Goldberg. They spray the NWO symbol or the name on Goldberg's back. And by the way, they kicked Conan out of the group. So, and this finger poke of doom with Hogan and Nash, it's just a way to put Hogan back into the politics seat in WCW. And yeah, like I said, Goldberg's career in WCW took a massive hit because he never won the WCW World Heavyweight Championship ever again. He won't win the world title again years later when he was in WWE in his first and 2 runs in the company. And yeah, they did tease it, you know, in Halloween Havoc '99 when he beat Sting for the championship. But unfortunately, that was not involved because Sting didn't say it was a world title match. So, shame. I think they dropped the ball on Goldberg. You know, he was so over. I think all the momentum Goldberg had, you know, after this show, Starcade '98, is all gone. So, yeah, and also on the same night, you know, Mankind defeated The Rock for the WWF Championship. That was a massive turn for the war. You know, a lot of fans they drone away from the WCW side onto the WWF side. And yeah, I think this show and that Nitro is the biggest blunder in the Monday Night War. So, yeah, that my overall rating of Starcade '98. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. This full match show at best. You know, the freeway match for the Cruiserweight title, Billy Kidman versus Eddie Guerrero for the same championship, Conan versus Jericho for the TV championship, and also DDP versus the Giant. But yeah, this show suffered, man. This Norman Smiley versus Prince Like Hair match was okay, but yeah, this show suffered, man. Lack of star power, a lot of shit matches. It got me thinking, you know, if they had the star power, you know, on this show, would they receive a better buy rate? Would it be a better show? I don't know, but yeah, this is a crap show. It's similar on the same level as Fall Brawl 1998, but almost. But yeah, this is a crap show, man. You know, I advise you watching the first 2 matches on the show. You know, for the Cruiserweight title, you know, Conan versus Jericho and the Giant versus DDP, and skip the rest of the show. A second thought, I'm going to change the score. I'm going to give it a 3 out of 10. Still a bad show. So, what's your thoughts on Starcade 1998? Please leave the thoughts in the comment section below. Smash that button, click the like, click the bell, subscribe to the Central Man Network on YouTube, be part of the Central Unit for more wrestling videos and more. Sadly, this is the final WCW pay-per-view review on this channel. The reason why, because the WWE Network in my country, the United Kingdom, is going to be shut down because the WWE is moving to Netflix. So, yeah, maybe I'm going to do something else on my channel, bring back game streams and movie reviews. So, you know, give my pundit brain a rest. So, yeah, hope you enjoy the ride for the last 4 years. Me reviewing pay-per-views from World Championship Wrestling and Jim Crockett Promotions and the National Wrestling Alliance. You want more? Click on the playlist, the WCW/NWA pay-per-view reviews, and you'll find my classic shows in that time period throughout the 80s and the 90s of World Championship Wrestling and also JCP. Until then, this is the Central Man officially signing out. Check you later, folks.